Hey, this is Laura King Gelson, and I'm up hiking. That's one of my favorite activities to do. And as I was on my hike this morning, it was interesting because I had a specific goal in mind when I started out this morning. So I was familiar with the trail, which direction I was going. And as I was hiking and just, enjoying the beauty of the day, nature, the sounds of nature, and just up here connecting to God and taking this hike. Not very much aware, really, not a lot of physical effort, just kind of walking and strolling and enjoying. And then I get to a place where it's like, wow, this is really steep. And I look up and I'm really close to my first goal. And so as I reach there, of course, I stop and I look around. It's kind of at the opening of the top part of the canyon, and it opens up and you can see the entire valley below. And so it's really, really beautiful. And so as I'm sitting there just enjoying the view, enjoying the fruits of my labor of the hike, I go, okay, you know what? I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go to my next goal. And so I start on the path into my next goal. And this is a hike I've done before, so I'm really clear about what my next goal is, which happens to be this big, huge boulder, and which again gives you this fantastic view below. And as I'm hiking, all of a sudden, it starts to get a little bit hot, and I'm thinking, dang, I should be there by now. And I look around and I look up and I cannot see my goal. But it's really steep. And so as I'm walking, these thoughts start going through my mind like, oh my gosh, this is so much like life. You pick a goal, and when you're hiking, you can see your goal, you can see it's high. And so you realize that the hike to get there, that it's going to be some effort, and that you're going to go through some places where it's a little bit more steep. And so as I am hiking this and to my second goal, I'm thinking, gosh, this is so much like life. Sometimes we set a goal and we can see it, and then when we have those moments when it's really stressful, or when life gets hard, or when it gets hot and all of a sudden we're a little achy or don't want to go on, we can look up and clearly see that goal. And then on the second leg of my hike, it was interesting as I looked up because it was getting steep, and I'm like, wow, you know what? I must be getting close to my goal because it's taking more effort, and it's getting harder, and it's steeper. And I look up and I can't see my goal. And I realized that, oh my gosh, that's so much like life journey and reaching a goal as well. Is sometimes we set this goal and it's really high and it's really out there, and we're on the path and we know the path, and sometimes it gets hot and steep and life gets hard, and we look up and we're like, I can't see it. I can't see it, but I know I'm on the right path. I know I'll get there. And so even if we can't see it in that moment of that struggle, we take another step. And we take another step. And we walk on faith. And we keep moving forward. And pretty soon, we round a bend. And there's our goal. And once again, always for me, always when it's time, when I'm getting close to my goal, it gets steeper. It gets harder. It's harder. It's like you can see it and it's there, and yet the effort to get that last stretch is huge. And so I don't know. It was just kind of a cool thing. And of course, as I'm hiking, I recognize all of this because it's so symbolic of my journey and my life to change. I always set goals of where I want to be in higher places. Sometimes I don't really realize that. When I'm hiking, I clearly see that my goal is so high, and I clearly see the effort that it's going to take for me to get there. But when I'm just walking, or when I set a goal for my life, what I've learned is, even if I can't see it, if this is a goal that's moving me to a higher place, to a higher plane of living or thinking, I'm going to have to go through the steep places. I'm going to have to go through the struggle. I'm going to have to go through the heat. I'm going to have to go through the pain that shows up to move forward. And then always, of course, when you get to the top and you look back, and it's so beautiful. And it's so worth it. And so, I don't know, it was just kind of a mental journey for me this morning as I was out here, you know, my goal was to come out and connect to God and connect to myself and just get some more clarity. And it's amazing. Just the journey itself is such a lesson about how life shows up and how we show up. And we just get these little nuggets of blessings or information along the way so that when we get to the top, we can look around and say, wow, you know what? It is beautiful up here and it is so worth it. And guess what? Just like in my hike today, I'm looking around going, where's my next place? And which path, which trail am I going to take now? And from here on, it's not a trail I've hiked a lot. And so, you know what? It could take me anywhere. But one thing I do know is that as long as I stay on the path and enjoy the trip along the way, it's worth taking. So this is Laura Gilstein. I hope in this, my little minute stroll here on the hike, and takes you to a place of understanding and helps you to set a goal for your next pinnacle and then realize, you know what, you're going to higher ground. It's going to take some effort, but the view is beautiful when you get there. So hey, go live while you're living and experience every day of your life. Don't wait. Today's the day.